If you're in need of marketing help, or you're just curious on how working with a marketing agency kind of pans out, this video is for you. Hopefully you've already watched my marketing services overview video where we talk about the unique products that Digital Dispatch and our team provides to you. Now in this video, I'm going to go into some of the more frequently asked questions whenever we're onboarding new clients as to what services we provide, the cost, and sort of the expectations around those services. So let's go ahead and dive in. Okay, now the first question I often get is, what service should I get? And that is a really loaded question because it ultimately depends on what your goals are. Now, what your goals are, and sort of the way I like to work is I like to figure out what your goals are and then reverse engineer on how we get you there. I don't want to sell you something that's worthless to you. I don't want to make you do something that's not really in line of what your overall goals are. So what I would like to start with is, what are your goals? Figure out your goals first, and then from there we can reverse engineer on how to make those goals a reality through different marketing services that we offer. Now, some of the marketing services that we offer are wide ranging, and some of them I would highly suggest that you bundle them or just not do them at all. Some of the first ways that I would suggest as far as like bundling is concerned is you don't want to just start putting out blogs without any kind of research on your target audience. I can sell you 4 blogs per month. If you don't have an end goal in mind, or if you didn't do any kind of SEO research, or if you didn't send that article out to any social media platforms or email marketing platforms that you may have, then you're sort of just wasting everybody's time. Then what happens is that we're going to post, 4 blogs a month for 6 months, and then your executive team is going to say, hey, well, you spent X amount of dollars on all these blogs, what you get out of it? And you're not going to know how to answer that. So when I say bundle services, I'm talking about bundling your overall your content marketing. So when I say content marketing, I'm talking about your SEO research. What are people searching? What are some low-hanging fruit opportunities that people are already coming to your website for, but they're not finding a suitable answer that turns them into a lead? So SEO research is a big part of that. And then from there, we can come up with a content calendar. So blogs, videos, podcasts that we can publish to your platforms that appease to those search engine phrases or keywords and your overall company goals, because you don't want all of your blogs to be just search engine phrases. You want to have a little mix of everything. You want to have company updates. You want to have service products or service offerings that maybe you have something new. Maybe you're starting to offer LTL. Maybe you just bought a bunch of reefer trucks. Then that would be a service offering that you would want to write an article about and put on your website. So it doesn't have to all be SEO focused, although I am a big fan of SEO and I believe starting a lot of your content from an SEO perspective. But I would say SEO, content marketing, and then your distribution, which I'm sure all of you know, your distribution plan is very important, and it's no less important when it comes to your marketing plan. You need to know where you're going to send that content before you ever hit publish. Are you going to send it to your personal LinkedIn? Are you going to send it to your business LinkedIn? Are you going to send it out in a company-wide email? Are you going to send it out to your email marketing list? Are you going to send it out to your customers, your carriers? You need to have that distribution plan mapped out before you ever write the article. And that's when I say bundle services, I mean bundle those particular services together. Now, other services that we offer, obviously, social media is a big one. I'm not a fan of publishing to social media unless you have, an end goal in mind. Sure, those, holiday messages are nice, but everybody's doing them and they don't really offer a clear ROI to your clients and who you're trying to reach. So with SEO, I would actually bundle that in with content marketing as well. Other services, I would say definitely email marketing. That can stand alone from your content marketing. Though I think it should be a little bit involved with your content marketing, email marketing can certainly stand alone. So if you're offering, load alert emails, or if you have a company announcement or things like that, then you would definitely want to send those out in an email format. And if you're sending out load alert emails and you don't have an unsubscribe option on your emails, you're breaking the law. You're breaking the internet law. I think it's the ICANN rules. Internet, I forget what ICANN actually means, but it's ICANN, and they specifically lay out that you must have permission to email out to your database And if you don't have an unsubscribe option, then you could get penalized. Your email could get penalized. And then if your email goes down because your hosting provider has received too many spam complaints because you don't have an unsubscribe option, guess what? Your email goes down and you're losing a lot of money that day and probably the next day and probably for a few more days until your host can review your case and then turn your email back on. So it is so very important that if you're sending out your load alert emails, which is where I see a lot of issues happening with clients and people that I talk to, that you have to offer an unsubscribe option. And the best way to do that is to go through an email marketing provider, a Constant Contact, a MailChimp, companies like this where they can manage and you can manage, or we can manage it for you, your database of contacts of who you're sending to, why you're sending them that email, and giving them the option to opt out. There's nothing worse than continuously getting emails and not having a way to opt out, because I, along with a lot of other people, will just report you as spam. If you send me emails and I don't know that I want to get these anymore, if I ask to be removed, and I know a lot of people feel very passionate about this same thing, but there are solutions out there, and that's where we could come in and help you with, specifically when it comes to email marketing. There's also template design too that you need to keep in mind with, and A/B testing. There's lots of fun things that you can do with email marketing that you can do it as a standalone service. But I would say, as far as your marketing is concerned, your website is the most important. Collecting emails is probably the second most important, and then third most important is SEO. So those three things mainly you control. SEO you kind of don't control, but you can take advantage of a lot of low-hanging fruit opportunities. Owning your email list and owning your website are direct communication tactics to your potential audience or customers that are already working with you. You own those two things. You don't have to worry about algorithms. You don't have to worry about advertising. Your website and your email list are probably the most important things that you should be focusing on. As if you're doing anything at all, it should be those two things. Other services that we provide to Google reputation and reviews. So say you get a bad review, happens to the best of us, and you don't know how to respond. We have a way of creating either a canned response, or we would craft a personal response to that specific person. And the way that we would suggest that is we would take the conversation off the page, respond to it, don't ignore it, because if you ignore it and then somebody else sees a bad review whenever they're Googling your name and you didn't respond to it, that shows that you don't care. And it could be a malicious review. It could be unfounded, everything that person is saying in the review, and it very well could be true. But if you don't address it, the next person that's looking at that automatically thinks that it's true and automatically thinks that you don't care. So Google reviews and reputation management is really important. And what I would say, a lot of what I see is that companies already have, maybe like a 2.5 or a 3-star rating on Google, and they want to get better, or they want to remove bad reviews at all. You can't remove the bad ones. All you can do is address it and try to get better and try to resolve that issue off of the review page. You don't want to get into a back and forth with that person online, because then you both just look bad. You want to respond in a professional way, and we can help you craft that message and either respond on your behalf or send you that message of what we would say, and you can respond, or you would just give us the okay to post it, then we would post it for you. We can also solicit new reviews and offer something to your clients in exchange for that, because we're all busy. Time is a finite resource. If you're asking, your carrier database or your drivers to go online and give you a review, offer an Amazon gift card with them. Offer, one lucky reviewer will get a $50 Amazon gift card or a $100 Amazon gift card, something along those lines that would solicit people that already do business with you and have a good experience, to give them an opportunity to talk about that good experience on your website, on your Google, also on your Google review page, and also on Facebook as well. A lot of drivers are very, very active on social media, and a lot of other employees that work within your company or maybe work for a competitor that are very active on social media. So you want to make sure that you're monitoring your reputation online. And if you just don't have the time or the desire or the knowledge to do so, we can help you out in that regard. I would say that's probably it when it comes to services. Now, if you wanted some one-off As far as, content is concerned, maybe you need a video that talks about your company. You want maybe an animated video, or you need the talent to read an approved script that talks about your company. We can do those too. Those are a little less frequent than some of the other things that I mentioned earlier. But basically, if you have a problem, our solution is to solve it for you. So let's go into the next question, because I just went off on a tangent with that one. I would say next question is, what are some quick wins if I have a smaller budget? Now, this is where a lot of business owners have a smaller budget when it comes to marketing, and they don't want to invest a ton until they know that it's going to work for them. So I would say some quick wins if you have a smaller budget is, I would invest in a landing page. And a landing page can be a page that invites the user, whoever is on that page, to download a guide, download a case study, download a white paper. And what you do is you have a little bit of information on one side of the page, and then on the other side of the page you have what's called a call to action. And that's where the user inputs their name and their email, sometimes a phone number. You don't want to make those forms too lengthy, because you just want the user to see the information that they're going to get in that download, and then put in their information. And then from there, you know exactly what that lead is interested in. And then you have information that you can go off in the future to say, okay, well, this person, has this contact information, and they were interested in, my freight agent program. And you can go from there, and you can reach out to that lead when it makes sense, because they've A, given you permission, they've B, showed interest, and they've willingly given you information in order to help them solve a problem. So I would say that probably making a landing page with what's called a content upgrade. Content upgrade can be any kind of PDF that you turn into a downloadable guide. So that is a really quick win. I would also say, using the same similar format, that if you have a sales team going to a conference, don't waste your money on printed brochures. Get them business cards, get them a little promotional giveaway. Don't print brochures. It's such a waste of money. You're spending thousands of dollars on design and print costs, and you have no data to back it up. None. So what I would suggest, and I've seen work really well, not only for me, but for other companies that we've worked with, is you take your brochure, you turn it into a digital format. And in the same vein as the landing page, you're creating a sales conference landing page. And in order for that person, say you're networking at the conference and you strike up a good conversation and they want to have more information from you, you just whip out your phone, where hopefully you've bookmarked that page right on your phone. They put their email address in your phone, and immediately they are sent your sales brochure. And then after that conference, you can then follow up with that person. You can see if they've checked out the brochure, and then you have a way to go back, say 6 months from now, and go to your executive team or go to other employees within the company and say, look, I went to this conference, I got 20 leads, and 2 of them became customers. So I made hand over fist of the money back that we spent on that conference because of this particular sales page, this sales landing page that we created. So those are a couple really quick wins if you're working with a smaller budget. And those can work if you just have I don't want to say like a simple just 5-page website without any sort of like really big bells and whistles. Having a conference landing page of whatever conference you're going to, and then just replicating that page for future conferences that you go to, is such a quick and easy win that not many people are taking advantage of, but you absolutely should. Just remember to make sure that whatever content you're creating is ultimately beneficial to that target audience or that person that you're talking to at the conference. Next question is, what can I expect to pay? Well, it depends. I mean, it's obviously going to change. If you want 2 blog articles a month, or if you want 10, it's going to be a different price, obviously. If you want bundled services, it's going to be different versus just a standalone. So I would say I talked about earlier in this video, if you want to get an SEO content and social media package, you're probably looking at anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000 a month. Some of these packages that we do offer, particularly with advertising and SEO, there is a 3-month commitment, because we have to be able to invest a little bit of time into this before you see any kind of return. Don't expect to sign up for a marketing package and start getting leads 12 hours later. That's not how this works. That's not how the internet works. You have to build that rapport with your customers, and these are long-term investments that you're making. I'm not saying that's going to take you years in order to see ROI, because if it's taking you years, then you probably need to hire another company. But what realistically, if you're hitting the ground running with a bundled service like SEO and blogging and distribution, you should start seeing leads come from that within 6 months. I would say if you're not seeing leads within 3 to 4 months, there's probably needs to be some tweaking that's going on in your marketing campaign. But I would say within about 6 months, you'll start to see traction, because what happens there is that Google is recognizing that your site is not just a static site anymore. It's being updated regularly. So what they do is they tell their bots, they tell their crawlers, okay, well, this site has gone from not updating at all to updating quite frequently. So let's crawl their site more and more as they update. And so it takes a while for those search engines to start recognizing that you're updating your website and you're no longer a static website. And then after that, it's making sure that that content appeals to your target audience. And if it's not appealing to your target audience, then you might need to switch up the messaging. You might need to switch up of where you're publishing these articles. You might not need to publish them to Facebook. Maybe you only need to publish them to LinkedIn. Maybe you only need to publish them to Twitter. Maybe you're not tagging the appropriate people in the post. There are lots of things, there are lots of variables that if you have somebody that's a little bit more inexperienced, it's probably going to take a lot longer than 6 months. But if you have a team, and I don't want to, pat myself on the back, but I'm going to, but if you have a team that's more experienced in this regard, then you should start seeing leads anywhere from 4 to 6 months after you start a new campaign. So yeah, $1,500 to about $2,000 per month. I would suggest to also stick to a marketing plan between 6 to 10 months. And this will come in handy as many of you will probably be preparing your budgets for 2020 and beyond. Start preparing for how much you want to spend on your marketing. Usually marketing, they say you want to spend about 10% of your overall revenue on your marketing costs. So just keep that in mind if you're working in the marketing department, or if you're an executive and you know that you need to improve your marketing. Keep that in mind whenever you're coming up with your budgets for next year and beyond. Okay, so the next question I'm going to tackle, and it's actually one of the last questions that I have on my list, is how does this whole process work? Now, similar to our web design customers, and if you're not already a web design customer and you just want to come in and you just want Google and Facebook advertising, or you just want social media, we can absolutely do those for you. But since you're not already a web customer, then what we would do in this process is that we still want to understand your target audience, because we don't want to be out there creating messaging and creating content that isn't going to ultimately serve you, because our goal is to keep you on as a customer for as long as possible. And so with that said, if you're coming in blind, if you don't have a website and you just need marketing help, we can absolutely do that for you. But what we would do is we would just charge an onboarding fee. And in this onboarding fee, what it would cover is us doing the research on your target audience, learning more about you as you and your business and what you offer. But in the way that we do that, and the way that we learn more about your company is sort of similar to a lot of the web design customers too, and that you would pay for your product, pay for the service that you're interested in, and then from there we would schedule a kickoff call. We would review what you got and review any kind of challenges of what you're currently facing, and then after that's done, we would send over a not super informal, it is a formal agreement, a contract of what everything we discussed, the services that you're getting, and what we're going to do for you. And then along with that contract is a marketing questionnaire. And with this questionnaire, that's really going to be the document that you really need to block off an hour or two, get with your leadership team and go through each one of these questions and answer them, because we can't answer these kind of questions for you. We can help you along the way, but these are these tough questions of who is your target audience? What makes your service better than somebody else? Who are some of your competitors that you think that are doing a good job, that you kind of want us to research a little bit more and see how they're doing such a good job? And these are the kind of questions that you're going to have to answer, and your leadership team are going to have to answer. And then once you finish that questionnaire, then that's when our marketing services team is going to hit the ground running, and they're going to be able to review all of the information that you sent in, and then we're going to craft have to plan. And then from that plan, then the marketing services team is going to reach out to you. It'll either be me handling it'll probably be me handling your kickoff call. And then from there, the marketing services team is going to take over sort of the nitty-gritty details of what's going into your actual plan, of what you're going to see produced on your website, produced online, and any other kind of services that you signed up for, if that makes sense. Now, some of our services do require a commitment. Advertising is one of them. You have to commit to 3 months. SEO is another one where you have to commit to 3 months. Some of our bundled services, it's not a requirement, but I highly suggest that you commit at least 6 to 10 months for, and I covered all of that in another question that we answered earlier in the video. But for some of those things, we do require a 3-month commitment, but that's only for advertising and SEO. Everything else is really just a recommendation to where you're not just throwing money away. We want to make sure that this is a long-term investment and that it's going to work out in the long run for you and us. And so we want to make sure that that level of commitment is there. So if you are trying to figure out your budget for 2020, or maybe you have some surplus budget that you'd like to knock out for the rest of this year, or just out of plain curiosity, these are the kind of questions that you need to, your target audience questions are some of the things that you need to answer first and foremost, because we won't be able to help you. Any other marketing agency won't be able to help you until you answer some of these tough questions yourself. So just keep that in mind before you sign up, whether it's with us or whether it's with somebody else, that you're going to have to answer some tough questions about your business and where you're going, but ultimately it's a good thing to answer these questions. So just know that just going in before you sign up with any kind of service, or before you task somebody with handling your marketing, is that they're going to have to spend a little money, because guess what? You got to spend money to make money. So that's really it as far as our most common questions when it comes to the marketing services that we offer. Now, if you're interested in any of this, or if you're interested in learning more and just diving into a few more, marketing specific when it comes to this industry, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We publish YouTube videos all the time, so we have regular tips and advice that go out. And then also reach out to us on digitaldispatch.io. There's links to all of everything that we talked about down in the description, and we'll be more than happy to help you reach those goals both this year and beyond. My name is Blythe Brumleve, and I'm with Digital Dispatch. Until next time.